I sit by the cover.
Can you hear me?
All right, welcome into a special edition of the Jordy Culotta Show on this Wednesday afternoon. LSU Bama week, trying to bring you all angles of this game as it's coming up on Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. Somebody who knows all about it is former Tide running back Bo Scarbrough, who was a big-time recruit coming in from Tuscaloosa, had a really good career, was banged up with some injuries, but had a nice professional career, and now here joining us on this Wednesday afternoon talking a little LSU and Alabama. Bo, thanks for the time, bro.
Oh, yeah, man. Appreciate you guys for having me on. It's an honor.
Absolutely, man. Take me to the other side here. I know it. I know how big this game is for LSU from the Tide side. Does this one stand out at all? I mean, I know that Saban always preaches, next man up, next game up, but does this one stand out a little bit?
First, this is what I'm gonna say. I'm seeing too much of LSU stuff in the background behind it. That's what I'm gonna say. I mean, you could at least had something Alabama up there. At least,
we got you. We got Landon you. Collins, something, bro. Huh?
I was just messing with you, but
hey, we'd love a jersey if you handed them out.
Oh yeah, definitely. But as far as Coach Saban, man, we prepare for each game the same way, and what he says in the media is actually what he does. The way that they're gonna prepare for LSU is the same as they're gonna prepare for Georgia Southern and
Sure.
whoever they may be playing. And And I think that what made us so successful over the years because we prepared for everyone the same way. We didn't make no game no bigger, no less than what it was, and we treated everybody the same. Everybody had great athletes, everybody had great players, and we just had to go out there and do our job. And if we didn't, it fell back on us, and we always lost it. And if we lost a game, it was because of something that we did wrong. It wasn't because of what the other team had done something special. It was because we made a mistake and not done our job. So, and I just think that what made us so successful over the years, that Coach Saban, that he feed into us that each game is played the same. Don't make the game no bigger and no smaller than what it is, and don't play off of emotions, because when you play off of emotions, you can get lost in the sauce like that, because you're not gonna be focused. You're gonna be playing off emotion from what happened the week before, or maybe what even happened last year. Even that some people can use that as a motivation, but that motivation can also be emotional, and that's why you just got to go out there and just do your job and be prepared for this game.
An enormous national championship game before you got hurt. I want to talk about that night that you were. It looked like on pace for a career night. But take me back to recruiting, Bo, because Leonard Fournette was in Louisiana, was one of the biggest recruits of all time. And going back at that time, if I remember correctly, you were in that recruiting class and were considered right there with him. What was recruiting like for you, and what was that process like for you going through that part of your life?
It was something special because it was something that I had never been through before, and then it was something that I had been seeing over the years before me, and I was actually being right in that slot. And I just had to bet on myself. I just knew that I was better than anyone that I was in a position with, and I had to have confidence in myself. And I was talking to Coach Saban and Mark Ricks and Al Golden and Hugh Freeze and the coach out there in UCLA. And from me coming from a small town, it was something special, and I was taking advantage of it. But being in the talk with Leonard Fournette and all the other guys, and being a number two athlete in the country, and I was walking around like I wasn't, because where I come from, we didn't walk around like that. I can be the number one athlete, and you wouldn't even know it, by me standing next to you. And they're just the type of person that I was. And to be in that class, that 2014 class with the Hebrews running backs, it was something special, man, because those guys, it was great, and they doing good in the NFL right now.
Sure. I know growing up for Leonard here in Louisiana, there was a ton of pressure on him to go to LSU from everybody that he would run into in the streets would always just kind of ask him and give him a go Tigers. Was it like that for you growing up in Tuscaloosa? Did everybody, I mean, you were a standout very young. It looked like you were different than the other ones young. Was there a lot of pressure on you kind of internally that you had to go to Alabama?
I wouldn't necessarily say that it was pressure, but you can tell that people wanted me to go to Alabama off of the conversation that you may have with them, and they're ended with Roll Tide, and also when I had interest in Auburn and Ole Miss and Florida and Miami and UCLA and Georgia, and my head coach had a talk with me about it, and he was telling me about that. This is something real, and I'm saying to myself, well, if it's something real, I'm gonna take every opportunity that I have. Like, I'm not gonna miss out on something because of where I'm from and the college is there. I mean, they don't dictate what's gonna happen to me the next 15 years. So I went around and visited all five of my schools,
Oh
and
yeah.
when it came down to it, Alabama just seems to be the perfect fit. And if you look at it, none of those head coaches is at those schools still, and Coach Saban is the only one that's still at the school where I was coming out. No one, Mark Reed is not at Georgia.
Yeah.
Al Gold not in
Miami.
Miami. You know,
That's because
the
they got
guy.
players like you.
Exactly.
Who had the wildest weekend? What was the wildest recruiting weekend? Who rolled out?
Um,
Who rolled out the longest red carpet
Oh, Miami.
for both Scarbrough? That's one very hard, because man, I went out there to UCLA, Oh,
Yeah, it was crazy. When the OC got his wife and girlfriend at the dinner, you like, and then then you go to Ole Miss and it's like a family down there, and then it's just like everybody loves everybody, everybody hanging out with everybody, every sport, even if you
Yeah.
didn't play a sport, And I think that Ole Miss was the number one part of school at the time as well. Ken Deaches and all them Treadwell, all those guys was down there. And then when I went to Miami, oh man, it was like I can't even tell you. Then I also took a official visit to Notre Dame.
Oh
And
wow.
Notre Dame, I even had a great time at Notre Dame. That had me wanting
Yeah,
to
them
commit.
Catholic girls, bro.
Was Brian Kelly there?
I'm walking to my seat in Notre Dame, and the whole crowd just shouting, "Bo, Bo,
Wow.
Bo, Bo!" So you got this. So you got thousands of fans screaming your name, and you don't even go to school there yet. So you don't imagine how it would be if you did went to school there. So Tony Alva kind of rolled it out, but I was man, Alabama also did it
Oh, I
big
bet
too,
they
even though
did.
I was up. So I had to say it's a tie between Ole Miss and UCLA.
Wow. So who finished second for you? Who was behind
Um, uh,
Bama?
Ole Miss.
Really? Wow. So take me to Brian Kelly. So Brian Kelly was the head coach at Notre Dame. What was it like being recruited by him?
I mean, it was great. Like I said before, you being recruited by these guys that you seen on TV since you was little, that
Yeah.
you had no idea that you even be in that position, and now you see him having a man-to-man conversation with Kelly, and it's like, wow. But then at the same time, I also have to be a man and not show him that it's like a wow to me because I want him to know like I'm gonna stand 10 toes down, and I wanted him to know what type of person that I was. And you can go to Alabama right now and ask anybody about Bo Scarborough, and the first thing they're gonna tell you, whatever he say he gonna do it. If he say he not, he not. I was a man of my word, and that's what I gave off to every school that I went to, and I just wanted to be one of those leaders, just someone that different, that set apart, but made everyone come together. And you can tell, like, if he speaks, I'm gonna listen to him. I wanted to
Um,
be that.
Bro, it took some nuts at the time to go to Alabama when you did. I mean, you already had Derrick Henry, Kenyon Drake was there, Damian Harris was there. While you were there, Josh Jacobs showed up when you were on your way out. Najee Harris was there. I mean, for as many good players as Saban has brought through that program, and he has brought just, boatloads of pros, you were probably there during the golden age of the running back spot. I mean, with all of the names, including you, that came through there. What was practice like?
Oh yeah, see, when I got there, it was 9 running backs there, 9.
Oh.
So that means
Was Kamara there?
Kamara.
Was Kamara there?
Alvin, LT,
Damn.
Derrick, Kenyon Drake,
Yeah.
TJ Yeldon, and Joshua
Tenpenny,
Fowler,
right?
Connor Clark.
Yeah.
All these guys were there. But you got to compete against the best to be the best.
Yeah.
And I wasn't backing down from no competition. Where I'm from, we play against the best and be the best and come out to be the best. And they had a stable running backs over there, and I looked around the country. They were the best group of guys in the country, and I wanted to go compete with the best group of guys.
Damn, bro. Take me back to that national championship game. Was I guess the best game you played at Bama was the Peach Bowl, right? Where the MVP against Washington. But it
Yes,
felt
sir.
like that national championship game, you were off and maybe on to a night that everybody would still be talking about if you don't break your leg. Take me back to that moment, just how you felt going into the game, and then ultimately, when you realized, fuck, man, I'm done.
I mean, honestly, and in all of the truth, when I go back to it and I'm playing this game, and you just have this weird feeling, but wasn't the feeling that I had the Peach Bowl, the SEC championship, the Auburn game, the LSU game. It wasn't that type of feeling. It was a different type of feeling, and I couldn't figure out what it was. But at the same time, I was still focused, and I was just trying to figure out what the feeling was, and I could never pinpoint what it was, and but I just tried to stay focused and just play my game and win the national championship, be the first team to go, 15-0. And the tragic accident happened where, I get a hairline fracture. And I got the massage guy up in Rich. He working on me like, and anybody at Alabama knows, like, if Rich working on you, like, he got some very strong hands, and something really have to be wrong with you for Rich to be putting hands on you, because he kind of, physical with it. And like, I had him digging into my leg and like digging to the point to where this guy was sweating, and I would stand up and try to go, and it wasn't, and sometimes I wish that I would have got back out there, but everything happened for a reason.
Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely. That was some heart that night, bro. 93 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you were off to a career night. What was your pro experience like for you? I know that you're still playing at the professional level. You're still collecting checks to play football. But what was the highest level? What was the elite level, the NFL for you? Because you had some really good Sundays, bro.
Oh yeah, it was when you have a head coach and a GM and an OC that believe in you and want you to go out there and play your game. That's how you become a better back in the league. And when I got to Detroit, the first thing that Matt Patricia told me is that I believe that you can play in this league, and we're gonna start you tomorrow. And it was straight like that, and it was all business. So was I supposed to be nervous? No. Do I supposed to have anxiety? No, because this is a professional level. This is my job. This is something that I've been doing forever. So when I got the chance, I took it and I ran with it. I mean, my first debut game, I broke a record. Then I come back the second game and have 89 yards, and come back and have 98 yards, and to play with Matthew, even though Matthew Stafford was hurt at the time, but he was still around, and to play with Marvin Jones and Marvin Hall and T.J. Hawkinson and Frank and all these guys, and it was. It was special to see them in the locker room. Those guys were pro. And like when I was playing in Seattle and seeing like Bobby Wagner, and one time I had like a hand issue going on, and I had to be in the training room at like 6:45, and I see I had got in there like at 6:30, and I see Bobby coming up, but nothing wrong with Bobby, So I'm like, nothing wrong with Bobby, but he coming in. So I thought about it. Bobby, he's a professional. He get him, even though nothing wrong with him, he prevent himself from getting hurt. So I said, if I can beat Bobby in here every morning, I'm winning. So I made it a point to beat Bobby every morning. And every morning when I walked in that training room and I ain't see Bobby in there, it made me happy because I beat a professional athlete, someone who played 10 years in the league, who's there 6:30, every morning, and I'm beating this guy. Of course I'm gonna be happy,
man.
And I was in the locker room with a lot of guys, Dak Prescott, the Tavon Austins, it was Russell Wilson. It was different. My experience been crazy.
Absolutely, man. What was Caskey like as a coach?
Kyle Caskey, man, he the one that put the confidence in me to play my game, actually. Me and Kyle had a lot of one-on-one. And, like Kyle, he used to tell me every week, man, just play your game, man. Just do you. Mm-hmm. And once he told me that, I was like, all right, cool, just do me. So I'm going to play my game. Like Kyle said, play my game. And one thing I loved about Kyle that he made sure, and for it was his number one priority to make sure that we knew what we were doing on Sunday. And it wasn't a play that can be called that we wouldn't know what to do on it. Like Kyle made sure, like I don't know how he did it. He broke it down to us so easy to where we can understand it better. And once we learn, like you learning from Kyle is so easy. Like he made something so hard, so easy. And I'm like, with this guy.
Caskey's clicker, bro.
Yeah.
What a plug.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a plug for it.
Bo, he does a segment with us every week where he does exactly that. He breaks down the football game for you from like a little all-22, so you got to check it out, man. He's still out here doing the thing.
And look, man, that's the feedback on it, is that it's easy. People can – I mean, it's very elementary to understand what he's talking about. And he's talking about stuff that people just don't understand.
Oh, yeah. And like what I also like is he used to take us on the field and we used to go through these pass protection and kind of made me pick up the pad protection block a little bit better, and we ran through every possible defense that any defense could possibly run.
Yeah.
Like we did every protection scheme in the book, and like it wasn't a protection that I don't know or didn't know, and that's how Kyle broke it down to us.
Man, we appreciate your time. You're a great storyteller. It's great to reminisce and remember on some of the highlights of watching you play. You were fun to watch play. How will you watch Saturday night? Where will you be? And what do you expect the game? How do you expect it to go Saturday night in Tiger Stadium?
I will be in Tampa, Florida. I'm speaking at the IMG high school football team on
nice.
Friday. And
you're an alum there, huh?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. You know, I go back every year, at least twice a year. And I don't know what I'm going to watch the game yet, but I know we're going to win 31-27.
Oh, nice.
I think it's going to be a high scoring game because we both have some problems on the back end. But yeah, that's my opinion, and that's my score.
Bo, real quick, what was Tiger Stadium like for you? What was your What was coming to LSU like?
That's when I came. That's when I took off. You know, everybody think that I really took off the Tennessee week, but nah, it was actually the LSU game when I came in. It was probably like the third drive. Coach Saban said, "Put Bo in." You know, my first play, I run through my offensive lineman, like two other defenders, and then I come back and I do the same thing, but they were, you know, moving out the way. So I knew then, like, we can pound. So, and then what a lot of people don't know is I actually hurt my MCL that game, and still finished playing that game. I came back out at the halftime and finished and got the 4th and 1 with the knee brace on, fresh MCL, 4th and 1, got more than what we needed. But, you know, Tiger Stadium is wild. Death Valley, you know, the fans are down there. It's crazy. They got great fans, just like Alabama. I think they're a little bit more crazy than we are. But
we'll take it.
We'll take it. Got to win something.
I mean, you know, you at Tiger Stadium, you'll see popcorn, Cokes going all across the stadium when they
whiskey.
Yeah, everything. You know, I took a visit to LSU actually when I was in the I want to say 11th grade.
Yeah.
Bo,
it's
well, that would have been a flip from what the rivalry is in recruiting. Whenever you have all of these Louisiana cats going over to Alabama, what's that relationship like in the locker room when you have those Louisiana dudes that when they line up to play against LSU?
Man, this is gonna sound crazy, but everybody who I hung out with at Alabama was from Louisiana.
I bet.
Cam Robinson, Cam Sim, Hootie Jones, Raheem Faulkner. I hung out with all those guys, man.
Well, they got more. They had more in Baton Rouge. You should have just come here.
Yeah, and I still, it was so crazy. We all live in the same city.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
We all live in, you know, I can't, you know, I don't want to express where we live, but we all live in the same city.
Yeah, that's great, man. Bo, it's great to see you, man. Great to talk to you, and thank you for your time today.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you.
You got it, man. See you, man.
Beat the dog shit out of LSU. I read that. I saw that.